Hi everyone, good afternoon. Hopefully everyone can hear and see me okay. We'll do a little bit of testing first here. So let me know if you can see me, let me know if you can hear me. Thank you, Kimberly. I had a lot of fun figuring out my program and seeing if I could do that. Thank you, Svetlana. Hello, Marissa. Yay, I'm so happy. I am excited. I am pumped to tell you about Bast and tell you about self-love. Thank you, Jessica. All right, so since we've had a few people trickle in already, now I suppose I should talk about myself. So, hi, I'm Little Fang, Brittany. You can call me whichever one you want. I am the owner of Little Fang Tarot, in which I do tarot readings. I don't have them up on the site yet, but I do Reiki healing. I do have special readings that I do with the ancient Egyptian gods and goddesses. And I mean, if you want to check those out after the stream, you can go to my website right there. My focus with tarot, and I've been reading tarot for over a decade now. My main focus is life paths, spiritual help, spiritual healing, guidance for gods, spirit guides. That's kind of my realm of reading there. I am totally okay with more grounded things like love and relationships and career, but I tend to focus more on the spiritual stuff. So not only do I do my own tarot business at Little Fang Tarot, I am also the owner and creator of, and you may have heard of it, the Tarot Tea and Me form. This is currently the largest active tarot form on the web after Eclectic Tarot closed, and I am so proud that I was able to get it this far. We are celebrating our, has it been 2 years already? We're celebrating our anniversary next month, and I do have a surprise in store, so if you want to check that at thetarotform.com, check that out later on. We have an amazing staff there. We have over 2,100 members there, and I love our community. We're focused on learning tarot and helping each other grow, and there's a lot of community there. Hi, Christina. I'm glad you made it over. So when I'm not doing the tarot thing and I'm not doing the form thing, I'm also a flight attendant. Oftentimes I do a lot of traveling. I'll do my tarot readings and my other fun stuff. I'll do it in the hotel, like on the bed or on a desk, or I use whatever's available. I am kind of the nomadic tarot reader right now. But right now I'm at home. This is my new office. And I've got all my goodies over here behind me. Wrong way. My shrine is back there. Okay, so and so when I'm not doing all that, when I'm not flying, I am also what's called a Shemsu Ankh of the Kemetic Orthodoxy, which is a revivalist tradition of ancient Egyptian religion. In the Kemetic Orthodoxy, we have what's called the rite of parent divination, and so I was divined a daughter of the goddess Bast. So you can see that Bast has been in my life for a while now, over 4 years. I mean, to be fair, she's been in my life since I was a kid, whether in her queen form or not. So Bast is the syncretized form of Bast and the goddess Mut, kind of melted together. I will talk about that later, a little bit later on, because the Kemetic gods can be kind of squishy. They all tend to do things, and it can be confusing, but it's very, very rewarding to be a part of this tradition. So, all right, guys, a little bit of interactivity here. What do you know about the goddess Bast? And some call her Bastet. But what do you know about her? No wrong answers, just tell me what you know. And everyone's going to see her from a different light, different perspective, different learnings, different teachings. And it's all valid. We all have our own ways to connect with her. But what we're going to do here is learn about her some more. So what do you know about her? Svetlana, just that she's Egyptian and has a cat form. Yes, she does. Jessica, she's Egyptian and a feline goddess. Yes. Kimberly, nothing. Oh, that's okay. That's why you're here. We're here to learn. I hope to see you at our forum, Marissa. It's been a great community there. So we've got that she's Egyptian and she's feline. That's pretty spot on. That's really spot on. So y'all pretty much know the basics. So in many cases, a lot of people think of Bast as being the sexual feline moon goddess of cats. Well, I'm going to dispel some myths here. And let's see. Marissa, something about being lighthearted. Getting this from a goddess oracle deck. I guess lighthearted is a good word to use, that she's very free. And you'll see, I'll talk about this in a little bit, but that's good. That's good. So a lot of recent media has pinned her as the cat goddess. She's sexual, she's a moon goddess, and no. I want to say that to label Bast as the goddess of cats is a little bit diminishing of all her other roles, because she is a lot more than just a cat goddess. So she is no more the goddess of cats as Anubis is the god of dogs, or Horus the god of hawks and falcons. I mean, that's a little bit, that's narrowing the roles just quite a bit. So let's talk a little bit more about what she is instead of what she isn't. So Bast she's a protector goddess, and originally in the Old Kingdom times, she was depicted as mainly a lioness, big old fierce lioness goddess, and she was a protector, and she still is a protector. Protective, she's an eye of Ra, so a daughter of Ra. She's solar, she's very solar, and most of the goddesses, the eyes of Ra, are solar deities. In the Kemetic tradition, some of the male gods are the moon gods. So we got Khonsu, we've got Jehudi, also known as Thoth. They are moon gods. So it's a little bit of a role flip, because in modern days we kind of see the moon as female and the sun as male. I mean, we do have Ra as the sun god, but I'm not here to talk about Ra. I'm here to talk about Bast. So she only got her lunar associations when she started, later on, when she started being associated with Artemis. Yeah, that's pretty much it, Christina. I mean, not in all cases, because we do have Ra and we do have some solar things, but in many cases it's the masculine that are lunar. And it's very interesting stuff. And here's another flip-flop for you. We have Father Earth and Mother Sky. But that's a whole nother talk. That's a whole nother thing. So, where was I? So later on, she started being associated with Artemis and the moon, and that's when that stuff started beginning. But she was always, and she still is, a solar deity. So it was only about 2,000 years after her worship began that she began to be associated with the domestic cat, the smaller cat. Perhaps, Jessica. Cats definitely played a huge part in fighting the snakes and fighting off the rats that were killing the crops. And say fighting the snakes is an important thing too, because I'll get into that later. You'll see. Um, so she started being associated with a domestic cat, and she's still a protector, still solar, still fierce eye of Ra, but she kind of softened a little bit. Like she started becoming a little bit more like Hathor, and she gained the qualities. She's also a goddess of joy, of music, dance. She's also a maternal goddess, be associated with fertility. Like a lot of the old statues would have her with kittens, and you could see the fertility aspect there. Maternal side, the kittens. But she's never let go of her strong protective side. I mean, what is more fierce than a mother cat of kittens? Am I quiet for everybody? Can everyone hear me okay? Justin, turn me up. Turn me up. Yes, Christina. She's especially perfumes because of her name. So, Bast, Bas, is the ointment jar, and from there she became associated with the ointments, the perfumes, and I feel like beauty is a little bit more of a modern thing just because of the associations with the perfumes, but it's not wrong. It's really not wrong. Okay, good. I'm using my external microphone and I do have it all the way up on my end. So I'll try to talk a little bit louder. Let's see. So we have a few symbols associated with her. Well, I hope y'all can figure it out. I'm not sure. I can't really fix much else on my end here as far as the sound. But I will do my best to talk a little bit up if I need to. So let's see. So she has a few symbols. Because of her musical side and her joy side, we have the symbol of the sistrum. So it's that rattle. I will show you one in a second. A musical rattle symbols. I have one made by a dear friend. It's going to be a little bit loud, so I don't want to jingle it too much. So this is pretty much what a sistrum is. And this is created by a friend. I can totally link them down below. And not only is this a musical instrument, it's also used to the sound scare away evil. It's protective. I love this thing. All right. Adornment's good. Adornment. So her other symbols include the aegis, which is the armor, the breastplate. And you'll see it sometimes. It's kind of like this shaped. It's a little lion head. Another protective symbol. Now I'm gonna talk a little bit about the syncretizations. So because the ancient Egyptian gods are kind of squish up a little bit, and I told you about Bast, which is my divine mother. So Mut is a mother and queen goddess, and Bast is, that's what we're talking about right now. And what happens is that in certain areas, the people would kind of merge these deities together. So then you get Bast mixed with Mut, Bast, Mut. So we get Bast in her role as queen. So I do work with Bast in a queenly role. So she gets a little bit more regal. She appears more as a lioness because Mut has a lioness form. There are other syncretizations. And think of a syncretization as like a fusion. So if you watch Steven Universe, it's like a fusion. You create a whole new god. You're putting red and blue together and make purple, but you cannot split it back apart. So it's a separate god, but there's still the Bast and there's still the Mut. Mm. And Hatshepsut, excuse me, also had connections with Bast as the queen. So because she's was the female king, so the royalty aspects was in play here. So let's see. So there's other civilizations, like sometimes you get Bast Tefnut. You can get Bast Ra, which creates Ra is the great cat. There's all sorts of squish going around. So let's talk a little bit more. Let's get back onto the track with Bast. So Bast's primary cult center, where she was mostly worshipped, was Bubastis, which is also known as Per Bast or Tel Basta. She is a goddess of Lower Egypt, and I know there's some questions sometimes about, Sekhmet and Bast, sisters or the same deity, things like that, and that's not true because Bast was worshipped mostly in Lower Egypt, and Sekhmet was Upper Egypt. They're different. I mean, they're still eyes of Ra, but they're not really connected in any form. So, unfortunately, Bubastis was destroyed by the Persians many years ago, and we don't really have a lot left as far as rituals for Bast or myths or anything. So I wish I had more to share on that front. But what we do have is because of her synchronization with Tefnut, I will go through the myth of the wandering eye goddess because it's quite interesting and explains some of the things back then. The ancients used myths to explain natural happenings in the world. So I'll go over that in a second. But as far as Bast, if you want to work with her, she likes perfumes, obviously. So dedicate a perfume to her. She likes jewelry. She likes chocolate, especially dark chocolate. Milk, honey, cool water. I've had good luck with catnip tea because I enjoy catnip tea, and it's not so much that it's catnip, ha ha ha, cats like catnip. No, I feel like it's kind of I don't want to say offensive, but it's not. I'd be a little bit. I wouldn't offer just plain catnip by itself. Mix it with incense, put it in tea, make it nice, but enjoy it as well. And something about the Egyptian gods is that you want to revert your offerings. So what happens? You offer a nice chocolate. You let it sit for a little bit. Let them consume the energy from it, and then you eat it yourself. And that way you're gaining the blessings bestowed upon the goddess into your food. I guess that's a good word, crass. But yeah, so if you want to offer to the Egyptian deities, you want to offer something that you're going to enjoy yourself. Don't be like, oh, I hate beer, and then offer beer. You're not going to drink it because then what's the point? Offer things you like. They want you to enjoy yourself. They want you to, be happy. So I can go through more offerings and such later if y'all have questions on that, but I want to talk about a little bit more about the wandering eye goddess myth. So Bast is an eye of Ra, a daughter, protector of the god Ra and the pharaoh. But sometimes she can be syncretized with Tefnut, so you can have her in the role of the wandering eye goddess. And originally, a long time ago, this myth was solely for Tefnut, but later on, more goddesses kind of took this role. in my personal practice, I kind of see Bast as taking the role as the wandering eye. And this is where it gets a little bit squishy again, so your mileage may vary. But, so what happens with the wandering eye goddess? She gets angry at her father Ra, and you have this angry eye of Ra. She's angry at him. She runs away. She flees him. She runs off to Nubia. So she's gone. She's had it. But this, because she's going away, this is explaining how the days start to grow shorter after the summer solstice. So you get the summer solstice, and then she's gone. She's mad. She's leaving. Nights become longer. Days become shorter. The further she gets from us. And then you have Ra. He misses his daughter. He wants her protection, and he feels bad about the situation. So he sends out some gods to find her. So he sends the brother of Tefnut, Shu, and in some myths he also sends Thoth, Jehudi. So we get Thoth in his form as the baboon, just kind of more of the trickster, the storyteller. Yeah, I love this story. It's really cool. So these two, they travel over to Nubia, and they work to convince the wandering eye to return. They're promising her great offerings when she returns. They're telling her about all the stuff she's missing while she's gone, and Thoth will also tell her stories, jokes, things to lighten the mood, and then she calms down. She calms down, and she's been convinced that she wants to go back. So as she returns, you have the winter solstice. She returns in the winter solstice, and the days start to grow longer. She draws closer and closer and closer. So it's actually a big celebration for us, and we lovingly call it Moo Mass sometimes. Because the cow bringing, I don't know, it's a whole other story there, but it's around Moo Mass is another myth around the same time as this myth, and I told you we have so many festivals and stories and stuff that it gets a little bit confusing. So I kind of mixed them up there a little bit, but I didn't mean to. The story I told you was the full story. I just mixed up there's two different myths around the same time of year, but this one is the winter solstice. Bleh. Okay, so unfortunately, we don't really have any more myths for Bast because of the destruction of her cult center, and all we got left is the stuff that we've found in other temples, other locations. No rituals, no myths, unfortunately. But what I was reading is that a lot of the rituals tend to be the same. They just substitute the god names for them. Ooh, I'll have to check out that myth, Jessica. Similar story in Japanese culture of Amaterasu. I'll definitely have to check that out. Thank you. I do love the Japanese culture stuff, Japanese myth. Okay, so we're getting close to the second half of this, and I'm going to want to do this meditation still. So let's talk about what Bast has to do with self-love. What does she have to do with self-love? Why am I holding this? Okay, so in ancient Egypt, what we have is called the 42 negative confessions. Some call them the ideals of Ma'at. And we have, they're also called like the purifications. So we have purification 13 states, "Hail Bast, coming forth from the shrine, I do not eat my heart." Now what does that mean? Eating your heart. So eating your heart consists of putting yourself down. She really doesn't want us to beat ourselves up over things that we can't do or can't control, out of our control, things that we don't have the energy to do. Just don't beat yourself up. We are human. We make mistakes. There are things that sometimes we just can't do it. And I have some examples, small examples. So this was some years ago. I was doing the keto diet, and as a traveling person, I was having trouble finding foods that would sustain me on this diet. And so I got into the hotel one night, and I was starving, and I didn't have anything. The hotel provided the sandwiches, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't eat this sandwich. I'm just gonna ruin myself. I'm gonna ruin the diet. I'm just gonna, it's gonna suck. And I'm just putting myself down. I just feel miserable. And I was doing my shrine stuff that night, and I felt her energy. A boss move. She was angry at me for doing that. She was, don't you dare. Don't you dare be putting yourself down for that. Eat that sandwich. You need that food. Take care of yourself. Taking care of yourself is a huge component here. Just the other night, I kind of did it again. I was in Shrine and I was talking to her about some doubts I was having about a big step I'm taking soon. And, I'm like, am I ready for this? Can I do this? I kind of don't think I could do this. What was I thinking? The candle went out. My candle, my tea light, it hadn't been on that long. Boop, out. And then it felt kind of cold. It felt like, she was not happy that I was putting myself down. She had given me permission to do this. She knew I could do it. Then how come I didn't know I could do it? She didn't want me putting myself down. And of course I apologized. And then last night I told her how I definitely could do it and I was wrong and I'm sorry. So yeah, so don't beat yourself up. If you don't have the energy, you don't have the spoons to do something, but you need to do it and you're beating yourself up, don't do that. Don't. So, on the topic of this, Bast is very much about living in the moment and enjoying your life. She is strong on sensuality, which is enjoying everything with all of your senses. Experience life with all your senses. Let go of things you can't control and don't beat yourself up for things you cannot handle. You are very much loved. They know we're only human. They know we're not perfect. They don't expect us to be perfect, so why should we expect ourselves to be perfect, So, let's go on to what is self-love. Self-love is regard for one's own self. It's not selfish nor narcissistic. And we have been conditioned to forgo our own happiness in order to take care of others in many cases. So, and listen here. I'm a flight attendant, so I'm allowed to say this. You must put on your own oxygen mask first before helping others. I'm allowed to say that. So, there are components of self-love. You want to be truthful to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Be honest. So, if you can't do something, it's fine. Don't put in all this. You're just stressing yourself out trying to tell yourself that you can do things that you cannot do or be things that you cannot be. You want to be as truthful to yourself as possible. You want to practice mindfulness. Exercise good self-care. Make sure you're attending to your own needs. Drink water, simple things, but you want to make yourself happy. Forgive yourself. If you do something wrong or if you can't do something, tell yourself you're sorry. You don't need to beat yourself up over it. Forgive yourself for anything, especially the things in the past. You don't want to hold on to negative things from your past. Do not compare yourself to others. Jessica has this cool new car and I want the cool new car. How come I should be having this cool new car because I'm at a place where I should be able to afford this and do this and drive this? And no, don't compare yourself to others. Be happy for others, but be happy for yourself. You will get to a point at your own pace, and I'm sorry for using you as an example, Jessica. I'm just needed something. Let's see. You want to protect yourself and set boundaries. No is a complete sentence. Don't feel that you have to cater to others. And it's nice to do things for others, but you don't want to do it too much out of your own expense. And you want to practice positive thinking as well. So try to think with an optimistic outlook whenever it's possible. Don't go into the negative thinking that, and this is hard. This is going to be a lot of practice for some people. Like, I can't do this. How about more like, I'd like to do this, and I'm going to try to be able to do this. Positive thinking. So please practice that if it's possible for you. I'm sure my candle's still going. So we're at the halfway mark. I'm going to talk briefly about this meditative journey I'm going to take you through. And the thing about this meditation is that we're going to go through, we're going to meet Bast, and she's going to give us gifts or something like that. Note that this is not scripted. I am going through this with you all at the same time. And the whole point she told me that it was important not to be scripted because of the whole living in the moment and experience. So this is going to be interesting, and we will see how it goes. So I hope you all get comfortable, find a comfortable spot. I mean, I'm nice and cross-legged in my chair here, relaxed. If you have a crystal or something you want to hold on to it, do. I do have my little quartz, little worry stone that I like to rub sometimes. Get into a good state of mind. I want you all to start watching your breathing. Deep breaths. Start, feel yourself now. Feel the coolness or the heat on your body. Feel the clothing you're wearing. Feel, smell things. What does your room smell like? I have my candle going, so I smell a very good scent. You can see what you see, but then you want to close your eyes in a little bit. But just focus on your senses right now, because it's, again, sensual thinking, senses there. So just bring it in and relax. Close your eyes. Deep breaths. I want you to feel yourself rooted to the ground. Feel the energy go through your energy centers, your chakras. Pull this energy down from the ground. Feel this energy filling you up, one energy point at a time. Feel them glowing with power from the root all the way up. As you take your deep breaths, you are grounding yourself, but you are also gaining this energy from the earth god again. Thank him for this energy as you pull it up from the ground. Start to feel the energy from the sky raining down upon you, pulling itself down through your crown, your third eye, all the way down your body. Feel all your energy centers glowing with power as you pull down the gift of energy from the sky mother Newt. You're glowing with the energy that these two great gods have given you. And all through your spine. Warm, cool, however it feels. Continue your breathing and thank the goddess Newt for giving you her energy as well. Now visualize some stairs. They are rising up before you. Step lightly as you walk up these stairs. 1 step, 2 step, 3 steps. Keep walking up 3 steps. And as you get higher and higher, you see the stars glowing around you, bright, sparkling. And you see a doorway right at the top of the stairs. It looks old and worn. Open that door. You can be slow if you want. Just crack it open. And what do you see inside? I see the sands of a desert and lush greenery around a nearby river, the Nile. I step in and I feel the sand underneath my feet. So go ahead, open your door and walk forward. Walk into this place. It looks much like ancient Egypt. Admire the scenery around you. Is that a pyramid in the distance? Feel the stones underneath your feet. The sand turning into stepping stones as we get closer to a temple. This temple rises up. It's tall, it's big. There are 2 large statues of cats on each side of the doorway. It's almost like they're looking down at you. You step closer, closer. I want you to walk through this doorway of this temple. Inside, we see a small shrine has been set up. There's a small table, a little shrine cabinet. This is smaller than I imagined, but it's small and it's beautiful and it's radiating with energy, and I want you to step forward. There are rose petals scattered along the ground. There are candles lit. There are offerings of bread and beer and water upon the table. There's a pillow there where you can kneel. Go ahead and kneel at this little shrine. There's a small statue of a cat in gold inside the little cabinet. You feel it looking at you. Not judging, but it's full of warmth and love. Hold your hands out, palms forward, and say, "Hail Bast, coming forth from the shrine, I do not eat my heart." Feel the energy radiating. Feel the great goddess looking you over. Feel as the statue comes to life, becoming a gold feline, growing a little bit larger as she steps off the table and circles around you as you sit kneeling at this little shrine. Let her talk to you. She's going to give you a gift that will aid you on your self-love journey. I'll give you a moment to sit and talk with her and see what she has to say. Don't fear her, for she is warm and loving, motherly and kind. You are one of her kittens, and she will protect you. And for her, you will not eat your heart. You will love yourself, and you will be kind to yourself as an offering to this goddess. After she has given you her gift and has given you her message, she jumps back up to the table, turning small, returning to her little seat in the shrine. You see a smile upon the statue's face, knowing and loving, enjoying your presence. You may stand up from the pillow and give her your thanks. You can now turn around and walk out of the temple the way that you came in. Return to the sand beneath your feet, the beautiful blue of the Nile, the greenery surrounding it. Your doorway will appear before you, and you shall open it again and step right through. We're going to walk down these stairs and come back to where we are in the now. Step down 1, step down 2, step down 3. Keep taking those steps. You will not fall, and you are safe. As you reach the bottom, the lights start to turn on. It gets a little bit bright, and it's important to be aware of your senses now. Open your eyes, look around you, feel the heat or the coolness of an air conditioner. Hear the hum of your laptop and the sound of my voice. Feel the clothing on your body. Smell the scent of whatever is in your room, perfumes, candles, incense. And we're back. I hope you've enjoyed this meditation and this talk. And now I'm open to any questions you might have, or if you wish to share your experiences. If they're personal, you don't have to share them. And if you'd like, you can email me. My email will be listed in the email of the free gift that we'll have going out. The free gift I'll be giving you will consist of both the replay and a PDF in which I have a Heka, which is a magical spell for self-love, and I hope that it'll help you. And please let me know about your experiences with that. So once again, I'm open to any questions you all might have. Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Marissa. Oh, after that, I need to stretch. I just love how that all happened in the moment. I had ideas for the meditation, but it didn't turn out like how I was thinking it would turn out. And I was like, oh, it turned out even better. So as soon as I finish here, I will grab the link to the replay, or I'll stick it over on YouTube, and then I will post up the free gift in here. So stay tuned. They'll be going out a little bit later, not too much later. As soon as I'm done here, I will get it set up. And feel free to ask questions after the fact if you think of something. You can ask about self-love, you can ask about Bast, you can ask about other gods, I don't mind. Thank you, Christina. I greatly enjoyed it. Thank you for having me at this Summer of Magic event. I love those little kitties. Thank you for coming, Jessica. So once again, you can find me at my website right here, littlefangtarot.com. You can find my forum at thetarotforum.com. It's called Tarot Tea and Me. If you want to know more about the goddess Bast, go to childofbast.com. That's my website dedicated to her and has a blog as well. I look forward to seeing you all wherever. I can post links to where I bought my sistrum. I can post a link to my Kemetic Orthodoxy temple. And I will do that right after the stream is done. I'm glad you came, Marissa. I'm glad you learned something. It is my pleasure. Thank you, Christina, for posting those links for me. My little table down here is kind of squeaky, and if I pull it out and try to type, you're going to hear. And I kind of don't want to do that. So I know we've got a few more minutes, so I'm just going to sit around and see if there's any questions, any thoughts. And if you don't have any, that's okay. I know people are already starting to leave me, so I'll probably start closing this off in just a moment. May Bast bless you. Remember, do not eat your heart. Have a good evening, everyone. I look forward to the rest of the talks this week, today and tomorrow. Bye.